What am I doing here? I think that's what everybody's asking. I thought, you know what? Why not, man? It was either this or play Football Manager. So I thought, might as well stream people. I saw a couple stuff, Brentford apparently linked with it's very late. I can't lie, people. Names escape me. Sorry, people. Leandro Trossard. Obviously, we've seen our home and away kits come out, and apparently the third kit's kind of been leaked. So we'll go over that. Actually, just before I was about to go live or press the live button, I saw Fabrizio Romano was spoken about Kiwior. So might as well just see what's going on, man. Big up you lot tuned in. Smash the like button. Appreciative to you lot on Twitch. Big up yourself, Ryan, because like myself, you don't know where your bed is, my guy. But yeah, one love for that one, my guy. But yeah, man, smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts. Let me share my screen. Let me finish this quickly. All right, we're done. We're done. Now we can get into this. Apparently, Arsenal will soft launch their third kit for the 2025-26 season on Monday. They could wear it against Villarreal on Wednesday and are expected to wear it against Athletic Club in the Emirates Cup next Saturday. Again, to be honest, they might as well, because Gyökeres shirts are selling like hotcakes. What do they mean, soft launch? I mean, I know what it means, but I can't lie, man. I just thought that's... Big up the women, but that's what women say. They say, "Oh, soft launched my boyfriend" or whatever, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, like, what's going on there, but yeah, it is what it is, man. Let's go, P, man. Let's go. Let's go. What shirt is that? Ronaldinho. You're a man of the culture. Shout out to you, my guy. You feeling okay? Why wouldn't I be feeling okay? Either SP or catch. I've done late night streams before. Done one last night, man. There's no rules. As you know, in this life, no one cares. So if there's a bit of energy within myself, pause. Why not, man? Why not, man? Come on, man. Cristiano Ronaldo mentality, my guy. You know how it is. You have to keep working. Doesn't matter what, and all of those sort of things, man. Your talent can only take you so far, man. Hey, I hope that's Catch, because Catch has been hating. Catch has been hating. Is it Catch? Oh, yeah, it's Catch. Catch has been hating people. Now, for disclaimer, yeah, obviously, big up Catch. Make sure you're following the catch up. Shout out Fabzone TV and all them guys over there, yeah. But who was there now? And it's not a joke, but it's a joke. It's well known that I'm the most handsome YouTuber there is, people, and I'm definitely the most handsome Arsenal content creator, and I'm definitely the top 5 most handsome men in London, people. Not that I know about the others. I just know I'm not 5th, I'm not 4th, I damn well ain't 3rd, I am not 2nd. But long story short, I was getting a bit of love in the group, in the group chat. I was getting a bit of love in the live stream. And this guy comes in the group chat. Oh my God, I'm 6'4". Me and George are taller than you. I don't know why he brought George into this. I don't know what football analyst is going on over there. But hate him, man. I don't want to, I have to be politically correct, but the Chris Brown, you lot's time is over, my guy. It's over, man. It's over. Start skin youths. We're here now, man. We're here. But it's cool. Big up. I make sure you're following the catch up as well, man, because they're finally bringing out content. Okay, what are you saying here? Big up, deluded G. When are you sleeping, my guy? Sleep's the cousin of death, man. Make it out what you will. Man said freshly deluded. The hell? Hey, it's too late for that. Is that a color thing? Hey, my friend, what do you mean by that? Doing way too much, man. It's way too late to be racist, man. You're asking me when I sleep. Racist. Clearly, I can't lie, man. Hate is a serious force in this world, man. A lot of trolling as well, man. You're typing it bare. You have just confirmed you're a loser, Big up the trolls and that, but you're a mad loser, because it is 7 minutes to 2 a.m. You ain't making no plans to advance your life. You ain't doing no revision if you're in school. You ain't banging no late shift. You defo ain't getting no gal. You 1,000,000% ain't on no date. You're there for watching porn. You're a donut, fam. What are you doing? Like, you know what? Fuck it. It's late. Why not? You're a donut, bro. But you got your little hee ha ha. Hope you're happy with that. It is what it is. You're a muppet, Think about it, yeah. Your grandparents on both sides did whatever they did to, bring your parents into this world. And, your parents could be from 2 other countries and they built their life and done magical things. They obviously found each other, loved each other. I assume maybe not, because, if the apple don't fall too far from the tree, I can understand why your mum left your dad. But anyways, let's assume they were married anyways, people. And they've built a life together, a house, and all of these kind of things. And your dad probably thought, I've been paying bills. I must be able to get a 2-2 brain. You did. Obviously, your mum weren't going for that. pull out game week, all of that for you to come into this world to be trolling on the internet, bro. You're a donut, you know. You're an absolute donut. Absolute donut. Absolute donut. Anyways, people, nah, man, we're here, man. It's, you know what? We'll go where we need to go with the stream. We're here. We're vibes in. We're calm. Me and Catch are doing the little banter thing, and my man's doing that. But you know what? I have to big him up because if you didn't say that, we wouldn't have got that moment. And actually, it feels like, I can't lie, it felt like Stoke away. Like I'm just one of them. Well, when we actually used to play attractive football, one of them Wenger players. The game's kicked off now, and some Stoke players just clap me for no reason. I'm fully awake now. Like, you doing, my guy, man? There's nothing wrong with being single. It don't mean you're. Hey, see, Marcel tried to draw me into the lines. Then pick up yourself, man. Yo, he tried to draw me into the lines. Then almost drew myself out. I almost drew myself out. You set up traps. I tried to press the ball very high up the field, and we almost got caught there, people. But yeah, Marcel, all you do is drink all day, every day, bro. You need to stop fighting them demons, my guy. But on a serious note, smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts. I big up my guy, man. I can't lie. I don't know. I don't even know his name. His name was Jonathan. It's probably not Jonathan. It's weirdo. But serious questions, mental health guy. That guy, listen. That guy needs to look after his mental health as well, because I know you're fundamentally upset. Whatever you say about man, you're turning off your computer and you're just thinking, fucking hell, I'm a loser, mate. And you've got no ambition. There's nothing wrong with losing in life, but you are a loser and you've got no ambition to get out of that. There's Bitcoin, there's bare things, people making themselves millionaires off the internet, and you're using that to troll. You really can't teach stupid, can you? Furthermore, if in the unlikely event that you do have some sort of misses or whatever, come on, darling, you could do better, man. Don't be a yammed for me, the youths. But anyways, on a serious note, shout out mental health guy. What is a realistic offer you can't refuse for Kiwior? So you can answer that two ways, and I'll start with the first. I can't lie, I'm not selling Kiwior right now. I'm not selling Kiwior for right now because obviously every player's got a price. I don't think Kiwior is one of those indispensables, but what's going on with Gabriel Magalhaes? Like, yeah, cool. He played against Watford, got 45 minutes. We can all comprehend he had hamstring surgery, and we need to be very careful in that regards. But he hasn't played any part of the tour. Now, it's one thing us talking about the attackers, what we're going to do with Gyökeres, relieved that we've obviously got Gyökeres. What the hell is going on the left-hand side, let alone how Madueke comes into that, Eze, all of these kind of things, people. One place, if there was any area of the pitch we're somewhat comfortable about, we somewhat know what we're getting with, or a collective unit, is the defensive unit. And obviously, you know what they say, goals win games and defenses win titles. And obviously right now, our goals winning games, amongst other things, seems to be an issue with us. But defense, we're cool. To not have Gabriel Magalhaes, to not really know what's going on with Timber, it scares me. And then naturally, I know Calafiori in pre-season was playing centre half, but like I think Calafiori, I'm not gonna lie, prior to Kiwior getting his little run in the side and doing what he's doing and doing all the things that I praise him for, I would have had Calafiori at centre half before him. And obviously Calafiori played there in pre-season, right? But he's got injured. And right now, like, if we're completely honest with you, it's not a debate whether Calafiori or Kiwior was better. I would prefer Calafiori actually to get the minutes, and I do think he's got a high ceiling and all that kind of jazz. But it's not about that. Kiwior's in a good moment. Kiwior's the one you're going to throw in. So if Calafiori's injured, don't know what's going on with Magalhaes. Bearing in mind, like, we've had a long time off from this Premier League thing. It's in 2 weeks. Like, it's kicking off very soon. You surely can't sell Kiwior. You can't sell Kiwior unless you know Magalhaes. If you did want to do that, you can't sell him unless you know Magalhaes is fit. Because then we now need to start entertaining conversations about, obviously, we hope Mascara is great and we give him a chance and whatnot. But bearing in mind, we know the start to the season for us in terms of the teams we're playing and the caliber of that. You have to start entertaining. Does Mascara play centre half? Do you put Timber there? Do you put Ben White there? What else do you do? That, like, and there's probably some options I'm missing out, but you get where I'm going. So right now, it doesn't make sense. Now, obviously, if you disregard all of that, especially first game of the season against Man United, if you disregard all of that, can't lie, you should be grabbing like 40 million euros for Kiwior, really. And I've said this before. I don't know. It's a weird one with Kiwior because I wouldn't sell him because we need depth, obviously, for the example I gave and just in general. And I think he's given me relative confidence. But I could understand if Kiwior said, I want to leave. And I think Kiwior is one of those kind of bracket players. I'm sure Bert and Arteta are saying in that we like you. We understand that we need you in the squad. You might have given maybe the gaffer, when it's all said and done, a bit more confidence. He stood up tall against Real Madrid. And also, we love Saliba, but to give Kiwior more flowers, I'm sure, if I can remember correctly, Saliba made the mistake. If we went into that game, we would have thought Kiwior would have done it. But despite all of that, and Kiwior might actually, it's not in a disingenuous way, but Kiwior might actually be looking at it as raw. Like, maybe the manager understands that he can give me a bit more confidence. I might have changed his kind of thinking. At the end of the day, if I haven't changed his thinking, we don't know what's going on with Magalhaes, don't know what's going on with Calafiori. At least there's an element of trust there off the back of last season. I might be able to get games. Now, as I was saying before I started rambling about that, I can understand if Kiwior wants to go, because when you cut the romance in, like me, I've never thought Kiwior was bad, but I've never thought you've been the guy. And I'm still burnt by, I mean, I'm not just blaming you for going out against Bayern Munich, but the gaff against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, Fulham away, playing around with his boot against Brighton, ducking out ahead as a Sporting. I'm not getting at him for that, but I wasn't really confident. And he didn't really cut the mustard at left back. We all know he's not a left back, but playing centre half has given him that kind of confidence. But when you cut the romance around that and playing well against Real Madrid and all of those kind of things, it's still the same old angle that Kiwior's got into the team, innit? Like, what, give or take, he's been here 3 years. You've only really got an extended run in the side when we're kind of down to our bare bonesy, or there's injury concerns in a certain position, typically left back. So I could understand if Kiwior went to the gaffer and said, you know what, I actually just want to go and play. When obviously we need depth, and there's many other ways to look at it, but Berta might be looking at it as, we all know we need to bring money in. Now, Kiwior probably wouldn't be on the list of players that, you know, you want to hear Lokonga and Fabio Vieira and this one and that one's gone. But if you're kind of disregarding it from a footballing perspective and maybe thinking, if I sell people, the more money I bring in, the more we might be able to move forward. If this thing is true about Eze, Kiwior might be able to make you some bread. Now, I don't know, because I'm skipping ahead a bit, people, and we are going a bit left with this, but I'm not sure on the country. I'm sure when I just skimmed Reddit, people, and just so I can make the tabs for you, I'm sure it said a club from Portugal. Now, that could be Porto, that could be Sporting, Braga. I don't know what's going on over there. But apart from that, which is a new kind of region for Kiwior to be linked with a move away, he's typically linked with the Spanish clubs, aggressively linked with the Italian clubs, if there is any links. And to which it makes me ask you, look, this, obviously, if you go and get, if it's all fun and games if Kiwior wants to go, but surely the Inter Milans, the Juventuses, all them Italian clubs, like, they're gonna say, oh, we're broke. You British teams got more money than us. We're broke. We'll take him on loan, preferably with an option. That's where Arsenal have to do the obligation thing. And even that, like, I don't think Zinchenko's going to leave, because I don't think we'll act for another left back. I thought if there was a deal to be done for Hatta, we could play there on top of everything else we're doing, and it was, you know, it made sense financially. I had small hope. Obviously, Chelsea have deaded that. There might be another one. To be honest, there's scope to, you must be able to get a low cost sort of left back. I like Lewis Skelly, and it's nothing to do with Lewis Skelly, actually. It's just doing the maths. Like, Lewis Skelly, as much as he's the first choice left back now and a household name and all these things, obviously he's made a name for himself. But when did he play his first Premier League game for this football club? Or when did he get his first start or run of starts? We know as a fact we've got 38 games. If you start factoring in, it better, yeah, if you just assumed Miles Lewis Skelly, I mean, all of you lot know this won't be the case necessarily, but if you just assume Miles Lewis Skelly is going to play 38 games, what, give or take, forgive me if I'm wrong, there's eight Champions League games, right? So add that together. In theory, we want to go all the way in all the competitions, so that adds in the FA Cup and League Cup. You're looking at minimum 50 games. It's not making sense, to which you're all right. Kiwior could be an option there if need be. Again, we want to move away from this kind of territory. Timber as well. Bearing in mind, we saw last season, you had White coming back from an injury, Timber having his own issues, other issues going on. We all need to stop. Not even that injury is an ideal scenario, but like an ideal injury scenario. Like, one person's injured, this one ain't got no fitness concerns, all of these things. We would have also seen, I'm sure last week or the week before, it don't really wash with me when Arteta said this, but he said something along the lines of, I'll just basically picking who was fit, like who could give me 90 minutes out. That was my pattern last season, and I'm taking everything from there. Rightly or wrongly, we can debate about depth, but that's what the man said. So I wouldn't let Kiwior go. Would you really get money in? I don't think Zinni's gone, to be honest with you, because again, Calafiori, we don't know if he can stay fit. We have to be a bit cute and clever with Timber, who's coming back from a long-term injury as well, to be brutally honest. And White, who is doing his thing as well in that regard. So I still maintain we need a left back. I'll be honest, like we need another sort of option in that squad. Now you look at Mosquera, can play left-sided centre half, right-sided centre half, can play right back. I think in theory he could do the Tomiyasu thing, give or take at left back. But again, if it works, I'm happy. But I don't want to get into those scenarios. You don't know me. For some of you, been following me for a while. I'm a bit of a football nerd. I like all of that sort of stuff, but I don't want that to be our thinking if that becomes the case. I just want suitable depth. There's a steady Eddie left back. We could utilize you. You could get a run of 5 to 10 games. It's not the first choice, but we can move. So it'd be interesting. But left back's not the priority, admittedly, for me. Get Eze in it. But then even when you speak about Eze, people, like obviously he's a good player. He's not going to want to sit on the bench. He's going to come here and rob someone's spot, as you should. And if you're Odegaard, or if you're in theory Trossard or Martinelli, those are two positions that many of us Arsenal fans are speculating, can you get in? Don't let him take your spot. We need a competitive squad. Now, obviously, Eze in theory can play as an 8, can play as a 10, play off the left, can do everything. But I do have to ask you lot these questions, because this is what I ask myself. We're calling for Arteta to evolve and do things differently. And if you do have Eze and the game state demands that we do something different with Eze, whether that's in midfield or out wide, you have to do that. But then you look at it. I like Zubimendi. I like Rice. He's not dropping either one of those. He's not. Now, Odegaard, again, back the captain. Think he'll get back to doing the business next season. But God forbid. But for this example, let's assume that he's still stinking up the place. At what point is he going to drop Odegaard? Now, maybe if he had Eze last season, maybe Odegaard, who was nursing an ankle injury, apologies, comes out of this side. But I don't know. So he's not going to play Rice or Zubimendi as a lone 6 on a consistent basis and have either Odegaard or Eze, or Rice and Zubimendi and Eze, or one of the two, of the names I said before. That's not going to happen. A lot of you, I personally think it could work off the left, man. It would need some rejigging and being a bit smart with it. Like, because in theory right now, I can forgive Arsenal fans for thinking more. Miles Lewis-Skelly inverts. Eze's kind of skill set is more to come inside, pause, then go out wide. So I could understand why that would be said. To which, is he like, how much do you want Eze? Because we hear the rumblings as well. Wanyeri signed a new deal means we've got more depth and we're even more comfy if we don't get Eze. So how do you view him? Because I look at Eze, he's 27. Gyökeres is 27. Zubimendi's 26. Marino brought in last season, 28, 29. Norgard, 31. These are right now players. Now, obviously, I want right now players, give or take. But again, we know how our club operate, resale value and wage outlay and all those sort of things. So maybe you get pressure from those above to play the guy, but it is good problems at the end of the day. That's one good dilemma we'd love, because if you do have a fit Odegaard and Eze and Rice and Zubimendi performing, it would be good, isn't it? But yeah, to go back to what you said, we need to probably get about 40 million, man. So yeah, man. Big up you lot. Smash the like button if you haven't done that already. DG, Liverpool pulled out of the Isak race. We're financially stable for once. Splash the cash for Isak. Listen, I would love to do that in it, but personally, and I'd hope I'm wrong with what I'm about to say, the man's still going to end up at Liverpool, in my opinion. When have you seen the first offer gets accepted? Now, give or take, obviously, there's an element of, well, Newcastle have to be talking to Isak's agent or his advisors or someone about, like, what's going on? Like, do you want to sign a new deal potentially? Can we offer you any promises to stop acting up? Do you want to leave? Like, where are you at this point? Because you've just come back to the country, innit? Liverpool have to have. Maybe Isak's just kicked up a fuss for his own sake, for argument's sake, and Liverpool have just been there to, take advantage of it. But you'd imagine there's been some level of talks indirectly with Liverpool and obviously Isak, to the point where maybe Isak was sitting there saying, I'm kind of fed up being here anyways. Liverpool have got word of that. We need a striker. That's added more fuel to the fire. Or maybe, again, because maybe the Newcastle's position has been made clear, like, yo, we're not selling him. I think they'll get it done. I don't think this is the end. I think this is the natural point where you kind of got to return to training and do what you're doing. I think it will get done, man. Especially, well, to be fair, it is nice to see the Sesko saga and not be involved as an Arsenal fan, purely because we got a striker. 1 minute, literally, in the last 48 hours, 1 minute, United, Newcastle, Man United, Newcastle. Right now, it feels like it's going Newcastle, which obviously is going to add fuel to the fire about what's going on. Now, there's also the option that Isak gets a fat new contract, which got there was an offer and it got removed way before this whole Liverpool thing became a thing. And obviously, if I was Isak's advisors, I need some level of a release clause. because let's just assume you don't go Liverpool this year and they sit there and say, we're not going to sign another striker, which, bearing in mind, we've got Hugo Ekitike, we've got things that we could do. We might persist with Darwin Núñez as part of the squad. We'll be back for you next season. Don't worry, where you have, he's got 3 years left on his deal. You now got 2 years left on your deal, which a bit different. Conditions obviously different, but a bit like Eze this season, where Palace do have to ask themselves that question. Obviously, Isak, I think, is a couple of years younger, but do you let him go now? He's 27, 2 years left on his deal. If he really wants to go, let him go. And not only that, you'd have Liverpool being back involved. You're definitely going to have Barcelona. Like, my hot take is, get ready, people. Again, if you're a journalist listening to this, get your clickbait sorted for next season, because you could Barcelona, you just link Barcelona with Lewandowski for no reason, Harry Kane for no reason. You could run at least 2 weeks of Alvarez, Haaland, and Mr. Isak to Barcelona next season. And in fact, ironically, for the life of me, can't remember the Twitter account or the name of the person, but there was like some sporting director or something of Barcelona. He was ironically talking about, like, we tried to get Isak from Sociedad and ironically Darwin Núñez. So you'd have offers. But boy, speaking of Newcastle, Aaron Ramsdale's completed a loan sign. I wonder what they do with Pope. That was a question that was normally asked at England level. So yeah, we'll have to see. We can't sell Kiwior, but Martinelli and Trossard both got to be sold for Eze, with Rodrigo, Lookman, Leao, Gordon. Looks like Lookman's going Inter. Leao, I don't really buy the rumours, if I'm completely honest with you. Gordon, especially if they let Isak go, and forget about that. Rodrigo, big up you for still having hope, man, and I hope you're right, but the Rodrigo thing is done, man. Told you he's going, that's why. But it's my guy. He sees the vision. Look at this guy, man. What time is it in the UK right now? You might be the one fighting demons, take a couple of shots of rain. Nah, not everyday alcohol, man, but it's 10 minutes past 2 a.m. Very happy, but still want more. I still want Sesko and Rodrigo. By some miracle, we get Isak. We're unstoppable. Listen, I hope we get at least one of those names you said, or two of them, but Sesko's a myth for obvious reasons we've discussed. Rodrigo, I mean, in life, there's always a chance, isn't it? But you got to decide, do you want to put the bread down? Stranger things have happened with Isak, but it's fair to forget about that. Kiwior's lack of speed is a concern that can't be fixed. He needs to go. The one thing I'll give Kiwior, and I don't mean this in a disingenuous way, and life is hypocritical, because I actually feel sometimes he's not necessarily the most confident in playing those forward passes, because he does have the ability. He's got a lot more, like, he plays like a steady Eddie, and he is a steady Eddie, but you got a bit more about you. And when it permits, you do it, but you don't do it on a consistent basis. But one thing I'll give Kiwior, especially over Calafiori, because I rate Calafiori a lot more. Obviously, prior to Kiwior doing what he's doing at this moment in time, or off the back of last season, I would have played Calafiori centre-half every day of the week. And it's a double-edged sword, because I do like, I'm not saying Kiwior doesn't have courage, and I'm not saying Calafiori is better than him in that regards, but Calafiori is a bit of a loose cannon. He's on trying to go forward and whatnot. Kiwior just sticks to the script. He knows what I can and can't do. He's not on trying certain things. I'm at Arsenal, I'm here to defend, let the other guys do what they're doing, if I'm honest. Night shift, man. Smash the like button, people. You lot are violating. 2 a.m. weird time for going live. Can't be. You're here, man. Everything worked out. Sometimes, see, in life, sometimes you can't overthink. Just do things. That's why I'm here, man. That's why with you lot, we're close to 70K. We've got sixth sense of these things. So yeah, man. Yeah, even my man, the 20-year-old centre back from Rennes. Is that legit though? Because Kiwior's linked with a move away. My man's linked. It would make sense, of course. But then again, I'm sure the lad's talented, but you're losing experience. And we've got to remember there's a lot of turnover. I think that's one theme of the Premier League next season I'm actually looking at from a few teams, because in the 2 windows, and counting because the window's not shut, and for obvious reasons with City, there's going to have to be some element of a new look. City players are gelling. Obviously, Liverpool signings, they should be gassed based on the winning the league, having the initial players they've got already. Cool, Trent's left, but they kept Van Dijk and Salah. Especially if they get Isak, promising player in Hugo Ekitike. Because of how Liverpool are moving, I think everybody's forgot that they've actually signed Verts. They've got Kirkes, still technically got Robertson. 1 minute he's going to Atletico Madrid, got Frimmy in, but that's a lot of players. That's a lot of turnover. So that's 2 teams and it doesn't mean they're going to have slow seasons or not dominate, but there's a lot of turnover there, and we don't really know what we're going to see from either team in them regards. Us as well, Arsenal, 100%. Maybe not. Some have got it more than others, but Zubimendi's coming for Rice now. How's that going to work? Is Madueke going to be the left winger? How's that going to work? If Eze comes in and is the left winger or the 10, or there's some dynamic changes for us, how is that going to work? Spurs to a degree with Thomas Frank, potentially. Son's gone. Potentially. I don't really believe that with Spurs, but with Thomas Frank, complete left field choice. But Sunderland, especially with Xhaka going there, there's therefore a couple. Man United, especially the fact that sorry, people. Man United are playing once a week as well. Like they're playing. Remember, Arsenal fans, that was us. And that might actually help Amorim because you got one game a week. Yes, they're still eligible for the league and FA Cup, but one game a week. You ain't got time to breathe, but you got time to breathe and settle on an 11 and do all those kind of things. But they need to reset tactically. So that's another team. So that's a theme just generally of all the teams I'm going to be watching next season. Well, we're all going to be watching them to see how those sort of things go on. It's the fundamentals with Kiwior and how we're forced to play with him on the field. Real football people will know what I'm talking about. The Dembele goal against us is a direct result of Kiwior. I'm just saying he's cool for the squad, innit? Like, for the squad. DG's a shy guy in real life. Someone like you, yeah. Gally, I don't know. I mean, I am. I'm very shy. Help me lose my shyness. No good left back coming through the Halen. Just go and get someone, man. You must be able to find. Well, if you can find low sock ballers in Belarus and Brazilian Croatian strikers, you can find. I don't care if it's Czech Republic, Poland, Italy, England, Antigua. Just find a calm, steady Eddie. 12 mil. What happened to those signings? 12 mil. There must be a little Monreal out there, like just something. You just do your job. You're not amazing. You just do your job. We've got some belief in you because of that. Soy, appreciate you. One love, man. Smash the like button. DG, what's your take on the first game of the season you think we beat Man United? We need to, man. Man United fans, especially the London ones, don't shut up if we don't. What resale value, fam? We don't sell no one. Well, to be fair, just getting some money in. And more importantly, then, I guess transfer fees. Probably, maybe I don't say the sentence in the right way because I always say sorting out the wages, but quote-unquote sorting out the wages. Whether we can sell these players or not, and everyone's situation is unique. But at this moment in time, and not that I'm pocket watching, I don't really care about what these players are getting paid because no one put a gun to the club's head to give them that. And at the end of the day, they're living their dreams. But apparently, Reece Nelson's on 100K. Now, let's not get a bit giddy in pre-season, myself included, because I must admit, Nelson, you look better than the options who probably will be here next season on the left-hand side. But he's on 100 bags. The club would bite your arm off to get rid of that. Obviously, Jesus is injured, and it's not in terms of ability, but we're at where we're at now. The club will bite your arm off to deal with that. What else have you got? Kai Havertz. I would say Kai Havertz, Martinelli, Odegaard. They're probably ones to watch dependent on their form and how the squad evolves next season. But there's them. You've got decisions to make, though. You've got decision to make if the Kiwior stuff is real. What else have you got? Obviously, the Lokongas, the Fabio Vieiras. I do think the club wants to get rid of that. Bearing in mind, a couple players have got new deals. Whether it's going to break the bank or not, it's still rising costs. You have brought in new players. And obviously, you'd imagine a couple of those maybe have got some decent contracts. Well, not necessarily, but you have brought in Kepa, Norgard, Gyökeres, Zubamendi, Madueke. Madueke, probably not the biggest of earners, but must be something decent. And then you've got the existing ones as well. And you're still hoping to get Saka and Saliba to new deals. And you know that comes at a serious cost. I'm not saying the club can't do this, but Berta has probably been told, got to keep an eye on them wages, man. Got to keep an eye on them wages. When you get beyond the recruitments and the renewals that need to be done, and maybe what we're trying to, long-term find some young talent, because it does seem like there's a bit of a drive there. Not really got nothing done, but tried to get that Will Hughes guy. He's gone Liverpool. Every now and again, we hear we bidded for that 17-year-old at Blackburn. Couple have come through the door. I'm sure they will talk about all of that and long-term where we want to be. What I think we need to do is actually get better at selling our youth and obviously finding loans if they're not going to make it the first team. We need to look at the multi-club structure. We need to find the gems. Like if we sold Martinelli tomorrow, and this is coming from Martinelli's biggest fan, at the end of the day, the guy, obviously he's on big wages. The guy costs 6 million quid. Whatever you think about Martinelli, when it's all said and done, he's more than paid that transfer fee. And even if you don't get the fee you're seeking, you'll make some level of a profit. But that needs to become the minimum of our club. But when you look beyond that, there has to have been some conversation with the Cronkies about, the wages. This needs to be sorted out, kind of in the same way Edu and Arteta when it kind of started, because they had to clear up the previous regime's mess. So it's one of them ones, man. It's one of them ones. And again, I always say this. I like Berta. You're showing me you're competent above all. I'm not saying, Eddie, you weren't, never been in your shoes, but at the end of the day, we're a big club. trying to do serious things. There are a lot of signings that came in under your regime. I'll give you your flowers. And even Gabriel Magalhaes came out the other day with an interview and spoke about how Edu kind of intercepted his move to Everton. Fair enough. If I'm going to slate you, I'm going to give you, when we find out bits and pieces of information, I'm going to give you your flowers. But so far, Berta's delivering on his reputation. He's competent, shown the ability to pivot, shown the ability to hold his nerve. To be fair, coming into this club, bearing in mind you joined in March, you are having to spin multiple plates and you're making an effing good go of it. Obviously, we ain't seen nothing in terms of outgoings, but you're doing well. But you look at the point anyways, man. So, yeah, man, there's a lot to do. But beyond all of that and what he did at Atletico, he comes from a financial background. So that was like the cherry on top of everything he's done in football and why he'd be great at Arsenal. Obviously, if you're the Cronkies and you employ him, the cherry on the top is he comes from a financial background. You want the self-sustaining model, you got someone that might be on that. And as much as I like Bert, we got to remember, indirectly, everyone's complicit in Arsenal not winning the title for whatever it's all said. You can't just blame the owners. I'm definitely not backing the owners. But at the end of the day, we flirted with it. Money's been spent. If we're talking about the fine margins, we've got a lot of good signings, but, you know, could we have spent that 65 million on Kai Havertz a bit better? Yes or no? Marino, not that I'm dissing him, but could them resources have went there? We've got polarizing players that might not necessarily be bad type of thing. Madueke ain't kicked the ball for this football club, but we're doing the potential thing. Was there scope to maybe sign someone that we feel a bit different about kind of thing? So I can't always get at them. Bert's just walked in the door, but at the end of the day, you've had a conversation with the Cronky, so you think they're cool enough to work for, essentially. Arteta as well. You've played and worked under them and signed, at least 2 new deals. So I think everyone just needs to just get better. We just need to go from being good to being excellent. Go from being a good team to a winning team. Go from being a good manager, Arteta, to being a winning manager. And until you do that, you can't defend the undefendable. You can talk about art, and I think you should. You've done a lot of good stuff for the club. It's got a lot of shortcomings, but you've made us dream about this, winning these things now. You've spoken about it. People do have you down as one of the better, maybe not the best, but maybe top 5 in the Premier League. Everyone can see your potential when they cut the crap and the Arsenal bottling stuff. You've done some innovative things. It's fair. We've got second and we're not getting embarrassed. And Arsenal fans love to talk about 2024. We had the most points and this happened and that happened. And all those statistics and Saliba and Gabriel, this and Saka, the other. It's fair to ask questions as to why, with all of this being said, why have you not won anything? There is that. And I think we're in that territory now. I think we're in that. You've got us here. And until you do that, you can't really shut up anyone. You can't shut up everyone, I should say better yet. You can't. Because it's lovely to beat Real Madrid and whatnot. That's for tomorrow's stream, actually. Shout out to Granit Xhaka and Bellerin. I think they reunited during pre-season. Aaron Ramsdale, as I said, has joined Newcastle on a season-long loan with an option to buy. Hear me out. Should we sign Wissa? I know we're not going to do it, people, because we've got Marino, Havertz in the squad and maybe some internal false 9 positions. But how good would it be to have Gyökeres and having Wissa in the squad? Like, because I'm at the stage now, when it's all said and done, if we're really trying to go after this Premier League and we're actually just trying to win, we know we love the youth thing and whatnot, but we're just trying to win. When it's all said and done and you cut the emotions, yeah, you need players that are inevitable, and he's getting double figures in the league. So you got him, Gyökeres bagging, him bagging, obviously the usual suspects bagging. For the last 3 years, bordering on 4 now, we know we're going to score 90 to 100 goals. But the maddest thing is, when you break it down, you don't know who. It's only been Saka in the last 3 years entering the fourth that's done it consistently. We know a couple man will chip in via set pieces. There'll be some purple patches. And that's not a criticism. Just if you want to go from a team that sniffs at it, we're in and around to getting over the line. Like, how many inevitable players are there in the Premier League at the moment? I'd say when you cut, people can never tell me Saka's not one. Salah is definitely one. Haaland is definitely one. It's late, so it's a bit difficult thinking, but there must be others, people. On the topic of Brentford, Vissa's one thing, ironically. This article, I don't know if it's true, but makes for a good bit of the stream, innit? Smash the like button. Brentford make contact with Arsenal attacker Trossard. And to be fair, we did hear 2 unnamed Premier League clubs were interested. Maybe one's been revealed. Maybe this is completely separate. Pardon me, apologies. Brentford have made a bold move by approaching Leandro Trossard's reps over a potential summer switch from Arsenal. Football Transfers can reveal. The 30-year-old Belgium international, who has been a valuable squad player for Arsenal under Arteta, is now being seriously considered by Brentford as the ideal replacement for Wissa. So immediately, cold water has been poured on it for me. Creative journalism, who is pushing to leave the club in search of Champions League football with Newcastle United. Fair enough, Wissa. Sources close to the situation have told us Brentford are willing to offer Trossard a 3-year deal, a proposal that could appeal to the forward given his age and current contract expires in 2026. Now, to be fair, we also do hear that Arsenal have an option of an additional year, but Brentford means you stay in London. It is an attractive club. Respectfully to Keith Andrews, their new manager, is not exactly playing under Thomas Frank, is it? And it remains to be seen what's going to go on there. Kind of going back to what I said earlier, another team we're going to have to see what's going on. But end of the day, he's 30. If you can get a decent wage, a Premier League wage, give or take, I use that term loosely, and a 3-year deal, and a more important stature in the club, you might ask yourself. He's been linked with Palace as well. Now, obviously, Arsenal are in the Champions League and all that kind of stuff. But for Trossard, there's a decision to make. I don't know if both of you are fit and firing for 38 games if you or Martinelli starting. I'd bet money on Martinelli. Don't know what's going on with Madueke. Don't even know if there was a consistent and fit Jesus. Maybe he'd be an option off the left. So I get it. I do get it. Where I pour cold water on it, beyond everything I've said already, is he's been linked with so many clubs. A couple of clubs in Italy, Fenerbahce, Besiktas, Saudi, Crystal Palace. Quite a few teams, people. Apparently, he's understood to be happy at Arsenal. And you know what? The main thing with you, Trossard, is you stay fit, because you picked up a knock in our last game. We won't mention that game. He's happy at Arsenal, but previously made it clear to Arteta that he would consider leaving if a deal too good to turn down landed on the table. This could be one of them. I'm sure him and Zinchenko have actually been linked with West Ham, as well as Fabio Vieira, across the last 2 months. Arsenal remain open to keeping Trossard and have been in early discussions over a contract extension. His current deal runs until 2026 with the option for another year, but there's no final agreement yet. This could all be nonsense at the end of the day. And to be fair, I do think Trossard gets a bit of disrespect. I do think there's evident issues, but in an ideal world, if we weren't talking about, finances around the wages and all that kind of stuff, if you could get me Eze, a serious left winger, you got your Gyökeres, you got Saka, and Trossard's in the squad, I'm not against that. Not that there's a long list to go through, but if there was, Trossard's been one of the better recruits that Arteta's brought in the attacking half. I just think he needs to be a rotational super sub kind of guy. Same with Martinelli. He just feels like, for obvious reasons, kind of what we discussed, it's easier to move you on than Martinelli. Martinelli's got longer on his deal. Ironically, like Trossard, there's still rumors of giving him a new contract. He's on 190k a week. It's probably easier to just get a move for Trossard. For Arsenal, Leandro Trossard apparently averages 0.61 goal involvements per 90 as a starter and 0.84 as a substitute. Martinelli manages 0.49 as a starter and 0.56 as a substitute. So make of that what you will, people. Fabrizio Romano said he understands Kiwior's future remains open, with several clubs keen on signing a centre-back. I wonder if Kiwior's agents, if they did want to stay at Arsenal, would angle for an improved terms in his contract. Arteta would prefer to keep Kiwior. Arsenal already rejected a proposal from Portugal in July, up to the player with desire to play more as possible. Can't lie, Arteta, lie to him, man. Just lie to him for a sec. Sometimes you got to do that as a manager. I know it's wrong, and Kiwior, if I'm you, I might angle to leave. Remember, this is a sweet gig. It's all fun and games talking about Juventus and AC and Inter. If you get them moves, Bob's your uncle. But yeah, man, stay humble, my guy. But if I'm out there, just lie to him, man. You're going to play, man. Trust me, you're going to play respectfully to Kiwior. Like, it's very different if you was lying to Saliba or Saka. Just, you're going to play, man. Trust me. If you're going to play, might even be cheeky. You're not going to play against United if Gabriel Magalhaes is fit. Can start against Leeds, respectfully to them. Can start against Leeds. Once the window's shut, the window's shut. Then lie to him again in January. And then you go next summer if you still want to do that. Come on, man. Sometimes you got to do this stuff. Arsenal apparently have told suitors, including El Nasser, that Martinelli is not for sale. That's what Ben Jacobs said. We covered this earlier today, but just to rejig the memory, or yesterday, Arsenal are lining up an opening bid worth over 50 million for Eze of Crystal Palace. Now his release clause is 68 million. So there's 18 million that needs to be accounted for. And it doesn't have a release clause. It got cancelled. So we'll have to see what goes on there. Ben Jacobs said, my expectation is that Arsenal will sign just a 10, with Eze being the top target and less likely to sign a specialist left winger. It feels the last attacking-minded reinforcement for Arsenal will be a 10. Now, obviously, Eze can play in a bunch of positions and will, but If they see him as a 10 and you're buying him for 68 million, is he going to start ahead of Odegaard? Is Odegaard going to move roles? So what would that mean for Rice or Zubimendi? And then we also heard as well that Nwaneri signed a new deal makes us cool with this, to which obviously Eze can play off the left. It's not his strongest position. We've never seen Nwaneri do it out there. But surely, if for argument's sake, if you see Eze as a 10 but could play out there, surely Nwaneri could. Who knows, man? Could you rule out Odegaard moving out there, or just having some dodgy thing in some games? Maybe Eze, Odegaard, Nwaneri, they all on the pitch together, take it in turns. 1 minute, one's out wide. I don't know. I still got Wenger's Arsenal in my mind, people. We're not going to see that. Apparently, and I did cover this yesterday as well, people, Andrea Berra has been left to lead negotiations in many incidences this summer. You reckon? Sporting director, mate. And regularly reports back to Arsenal's key decision makers. You reckon? This is like... Just forget it. Let me just carry on. Sources said Berta's clear and regular communication has been another welcome characteristic, which is great stuff to hear. Again, I don't know if it's true because I think it might be like false news online and whatnot. But if it is, apparently Gyökeres, like there was concerns about his weight when he was at Sporting, or fans were doing what kind of the nonsense they're doing at the moment with Arsenal. Worked out positive. See no reason why lightning can't strike twice. Of course, I've had my ups and downs, but above all, the last month has been quite difficult. There's been a lot of talk on social media about what happened or what didn't happen, but people don't really know the full story. It was difficult, but also know it made me stronger. Don't worry, man. You're going to do what needs to be done. They're writing you off after 15 minutes. Crazy settings. And I don't want to hear any fan base that does not support Arsenal ever try and play down any agendas. I don't want to hear it's only the League Cup, just the FA Cup. We're doing this pre-season, because right is right and wrong is wrong. I've never seen a pre-season. Yeah, we could have done better. You know, I'm not saying it's just the fact that we lost in pre-season. We're not happy with what we saw technically and tactically and all those things in relation to how we're going to move in the season. But when it's all said and done, pre-season game, North London Derby in Hong Kong has the footballing world in a frenzy. Okay, do what you're doing. Just make sure when we apply the same energy, it's cool. Sources said Max Dowman surprised senior figures at Arsenal with his ability to take preseason games in his stride. Apparently, he turns 17 next year, into which it better be a formality. He gets a new contract. Sources said the club are also conscious that he is, to put it simply, a growing boy, and Mikel Arteta is therefore inherently prone to protecting him. Sources also told ESPN that the club is impressed with the support network Dowman has around him, and there are plans to offer him a professional contract around the turn of the year, perhaps in January. There's a recognition that poor player availability cost Arsenal dearly last season. A thorough review has been included training plans and particularly workloads after players returned from international duty. Sources said, for example, that the club identified Gabriel's hamstring injury against Fulham in April came after he was away on international duty and sprinting at a speed Arsenal's internal data says he reached for the first time in 2 months. Crazy. I was at that game. Crazy. Maybe I was bad luck. Sources said there's still an acknowledgement that some of that is purely down to luck, no matter how meticulous the planning. God forbid, but if this happened, just imagine we sold Kiwior and this happened again. People would say it's bad luck. When it's all said and done, and I know Mascara's there, this is why, for me, Kiwior, you need to stay. And this is, if you're not going to stay, you're not going anytime soon. At least, last week of the window, if they really want you, get it done. Sources said the club's summer transfer policy has been significantly influenced by finding players with a good track record in availability. That'd be good. Mikel Arteta apparently recognizes that the acquisition of Victor Gyökeres will necessitate a shift in style. Should have had that anyways, but great stuff. Arsenal need to be more direct, more vertical, and since the resumption of training in July, Arteta has been implementing this change. I hear it, and I'm not expecting to see it overnight. But you could have, in the 3 games in Hong Kong and Singapore, we could have saw something. Sources said Arsenal was conscious about the psychological demands of leading the line and the scrutiny on the position. Gyökeres' goal record for Sporting, plus a strong conviction in his strengths of character, convinced them he was the man for the job. What else have we got? Well, long story short, people, apparently they're saying he's fitter than led to believe. Rodrigo's potential switch to Arsenal is now unlikely due to high wage demands. The Brazilian didn't want to leave Real Madrid, but his situation has changed in recent weeks. His priorities are moved to the Premier League. My theory is Liverpool don't get Isak, they get Rodrigo. I'm starting to believe they might even get both. You're the sort of guy to rock up at City or Chelsea. Keeping up the theme with Brazilians, apparently Arsenal are still adamant, despite Gabriel Jesus' injury, that they want to get rid and are planning on letting him go in the final month of the transfer window. Apparently Jesus will never play for Arsenal again after cutthroat decision. I don't know if this youth is credible. 96 appearances, 26 goals, 17 assists. Do we really have to do this? Do we really have to let him go? It's way too late to be reading about Spurs defeats. Newcastle's 80 million bid for Sesko has fallen short of Leipzig's valuation. Should we see if there's been any updates since we've been live about that? Because 1 minute United, then it's Newcastle. So yeah, boy, nothing's been plain sailing for Newcastle. But what they might have clarity. Isak's return to training people. Come on, Steve, man. Late night settings, man. Late night settings, indeed, my friends. Got to do what needs to be done. We'll go over that tomorrow. Just want to leave the screen on something. Let's leave it on Kiwior. Kiwior is staying. The only way he was leaving was if Calafiori made it through preseason injury-free. It is time for Jesus to go. Smash the like button, folks. Gyökeres will bang, man. The guy himself seems calm about coming to the Prem in his interview. I agree, but unfortunately, you know how the world is. We all know there is a reality where players need time to adapt and all of those things, but we know what's going to be said with Gyökeres, with all the hype and all of that. Like every game, if he doesn't score in the first 5 games, we know what the media outlets are going to say. Oh, he's a flop. Even though I don't feel that'd be the case. And if there was ever a player we signed in recent years beyond the obvious, it's him, man. Like people are analyzing body fat and all these things. If it don't invert, Arteta don't want it. Odegaard as a left wing with his pace, DG. To be fair, but no, I'm saying more like a wide playmaker. Like they would still invert, like kind of what you would see Eze do, but Odegaard and Wanyeri do it in their own way. But again, surely you need some width at left back. Allegri is available. Can't lie, man. We can't be talking about Allegri in 2025. Big him up though, man. But there needs to be pressure on Arteta. We need a natural left back or just left wing, or just Eze. Never seen you live at this time. Arteta giving you sleepless nights. Ali, you're a nasty man. I can't just be live with the community, with the tribe. Brighton don't mess about on fees though. They'll demand something stupid for Mitoma, like 70, 80. For that, you might as well try for Rodrigo. Facts. And I knew it. When I saw Mitoma's name in your comments, I knew the boy would be around. Give it up, man. Because there's no way in hell we sign a 27-year-old Gyökeres, a 27-year-old Eze, and a 28-year-old Mitoma, whether it be right or wrong. Son, but he's leaving. Palmer. Mitoma or Eze or bust for me. Don't think anyone else pushes us over the glass ceiling. Scouts, do your job, man. Club listening to the scouts. DG, if Arsenal don't win a trophy this season, do you think Arteta should be sacked? He won't be, man. Eze and Wissa can work. I'm on that. DG, would you rather be a sporting director at a club or an agent? An agent. It's got to be easier. Not easier, but it's got to be much easier. An agent. 100% an agent. 100%. 100%. Because when it's all said and done, yeah, I wouldn't want to be better or Edu. And I'm not here to back Edu, yeah, but could you imagine if Edu ever like spoke up the things and said, all right, I got this wrong, but I tried to do X, Y, Z, and you lot are getting on to me about getting things wrong, or Arsenal not signing people, but I was actually singing from the same hymn sheet that you lot all were, but you lot can't see this, so you're getting on me. I'm not on all of that. Even better, like Arsenal fans, bro, do you know what? It's weird because it's like Arsenal fans are very angry. You give us something to calm this summer, anyways. You give them something to calm down about. They're calming down, and then they're vexed again. And what I mean by that is, Liverpool are signing X, Y, Z. City are doing X, Y, Z. We didn't win the league, and I'm not saying these things are not without claim. I'm just saying, with like the disgruntlement. What's going on? What's going on with Zubimendi? We finally start seeing some people come through the door. Like we're happy when the initial news around Gyökeres came out and the long saga ended. Everyone's buying shirts. We're gassed, myself included. Everything's great. We are bitching a bit about AC Milan and the Newcastle games, the good, bad, and the ugly. We are. There's a bit of rumblings, and there's still that stench of I'll tell you, don't get over the line. There's things going on. It's never nice that it is unacceptable to lose to Spurs under any context. So that happens. Now we're vexed again. And then now everybody kind of loves Burr and, you're great. I'd rather just be an agent. People don't like you. People don't. You could be the best agent ever. Your agent's so bad. We know football has an element of tribalism, but nobody talks about when clubs are alienating players. Clubs are breaking promises. clubs are telling people you can't train, you got to be with the under-21s. Bearing in mind, when you look at football from a mental health point of view, forget if you need to leave a team or whatever needs to happen to you. This is your life. You're used to, you might drop the kids off or whatever, but you're going there for 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., you're staying there, whatever. If you're banished from the training ground, you're probably sitting around. Some people are sitting and moping around that messes around with you. But because of, we're football fans first, innit? It's never going to happen. Surely if an agent, there are obviously agents that act away, but I would rather people think I'm a bad agent, but my clients love me, if I'm honest. Now, obviously, you do get bad eggs and whatnot. Like, I'm not saying they're bad eggs, but you look at people like João Félix, man. Now, when I look at João Félix, it's more of an application thing, isn't it? Clearly, like, you have talent, and maybe the conditions haven't always been right, but you got the talent. So is there an application thing? And I think Saul Niguez, his former teammate, said something along those lines. But you could argue it didn't make sense going Atletico Madrid. You've gone Chelsea twice. You got paid, though. You probably got paid in all them moves there. Like, you got paid. And I'm not dissing the clubs for buying you because you got talent, but you got paid. You're in Saudi at 25 in the World Cup year. Crazy. Getting paid, but realistically, the way they were talking about João Félix, you should be in these Ballon d'Or conversations. People have spoken about Max Dalman more than you see. I did their agendas. Arteta is a hoarder of bad talent. Nelly, prime example. He needs to be sold. Damn. Nelly's value dropped by at least 10 mil this preseason. It's 8 p.m. in the US. We need more of these streams, DJ. Appreciate you. I can't guarantee there's going to be more, but big up the Americans. We're here, man. We're here. Yeah, Burr has outperformed Edu massively if he gets some sales. He's outperformed him better. Because we would be Arsenal. We would be involved in that. We would still be, it would be us. All the what you're seeing with the whole saga around Sesko to Man United and, how it kind of forms the love triangle and the indirect domino effects with what's going on with Isak and this one and that one. We would be another team involved in that. We would still be involved in that. Gyökeres would have went somewhere else because they're taking long. We'd have been involved in that still. So I like that. Once it became clear that, again, Sesko and either Sesko's camp, Leipzig's camp, people are being taken around the houses. Not that Sporting didn't do that, but it's a myth because it can't be an ability thing with Sesko. Arteta will be gone if we don't win the league or Champions League. Love the guy, but we need a Luis Enrique. Bro, is it 2 a.m. in London? It's almost free. 2:41. We need to flog Lokonga, Vieira, Nelson, Zinchenko before Kiwior. But what's mad is Nelson has looked better than both Martinelli and Trossard in his short preseason cameos. This summer's making me desperate, man. I just want us, even though it might not even make sense, I just want us to spend money. And I said that as well. Like, I agree. Nelson looked better. Pardon me. Sunderland trying to get a panda they're cooking. Raw. Man said, put the speed at night. Fair enough. I can work on that. If Calafiori keeps getting injured every time he touches a blade of grass, then like Tomiyasu, he needs to go. Right now, the brother has been an injury passenger. You guys, I think he said you need guys who can take the field. True. And to be honest, it does give food for thought, if I'm completely honest with you, man, because of the Tomiyasu thing. And Arteta kept speaking about availability. And obviously, we read it a few moments ago how, I mean, you imagine every club, but we're trying to specifically go for players that are available, like ever present throughout a season. You got what? I wouldn't say you got one more year, Calafiori, but if it's a no emotions, it's a competence thing, then yeah, you might have to nip it in the bud, man. Eze brings flair and is unpredictable. Big up the Gooner. Make sure you're subscribing, man. To his platform. I'm calling it. He's coming. It's done and dusted. Great to see a late night from the hard working and Steve. Has a Gooner. Appreciate you, man. Gassing me. But I hope so, man. I hope so. If you're asking me my honest opinion, I think there's an agreement on personal terms. That don't mean anything in writing. I just think he probably wants to sign for Arsenal. He's probably not going to break the bank. But the money, man. Like, how though? Maybe like has Eze's current club, Crystal Palace, signed anybody like in those roles? There's a QPR sell-on clause. He's got 2 years on his deal, so Palace do have to make a decision. The release clause is expired. I know people have the conversation about oh yeah, why didn't we activate it and this and that? And that's more than fine. But we also heard that we have no intention of paying that release clause. Maybe that's because of the fee or the makeup of the deal. But that's why obviously I still got hope. But the fact that there's release clause thing doesn't make me just think, yeah, this ain't happening, because we had no intention to activate that anyways. Another late stream, big 30th change, DG. Shout out, beast, man. You're acting. I love how Kiwior drops that he wants to leave just as Chelsea wrap up. Hato. Yeah, cheers, bro. If he goes, who do we sign as a left-footed backup? I have no clue. And to be fair, we haven't heard Kiwior said anything. And again, to be fair, Kiwior might have wanted to cut regardless of what's going on with Calafiori and what I've said about Magalhaes and the defense and whatnot. He might have made it clear, I want to leave. Now, I don't really know how professional football works, but I would imagine in the modern game, well, time permitting, surely at some point, Mikel Arteta has a 5-minute chat with all of the players, at least within the first week when you've come back to pre-season, whether you've come back with a group or when you're back, just a general chit chat. How you feeling about the club? Boom, boom, boom. Or maybe Kiwior has gone into his office and said, let me chat to you. I want to leave, because we can't sit here and act like, obviously Kiwior's run towards the end of the season might have potentially swayed his decision, but if you cut the emotion and you're in Kiwior's camp, it's the same thing that's happened the last 3 years. You've got to run him when everybody's injured. So it's not a I just randomly want to leave kind of thing. He's probably sat on that one for a while, if I'm honest. Come on, Lion. Appreciate you. How do we have more votes on the poll than likes on stream? I don't care how sleepy you are. My job's worth. Calm, appreciate you. Bloody hell. Come on, people. Smash the like button, man. There's 200 of you locked in. It is late. Can we get to 100 likes? We've got 84. To the 84 of you, come on. If I was Arsenal, I'd swap Nelly for Eze, then go and buy Rodrigo. I hear you, but being devil's advocate, who's to say Crystal Palace want Martinelli? And Martinelli, again, you'd have to take a wage cut. But who's to say he wants to take a wage cut? Maybe Palace say, you know what, we'll give you wages, but they've got to look after their wages as well. I don't know how much Eddie Nketiah is on, but I'm sure you don't want to pay 190k a week to Martinelli in current form. If Isak goes to Liverpool, we're in trouble. We still got to try regardless, but I've accepted that he's going there. Like, he's a naughty player, in it. Like, well, there's not too many players that have had the better of Gabriel Magalhaes and Saliba. He's been one of them. And you've got the threat of Salah. Boy, start ADG Dele Alli to Arsenal in the Raheem Sterling role. Sad with Dele, man. I think one of the saddest things, I mean, at the end of the day, especially when you look into his life, the fact that he's a footballer is a miracle in itself to a degree. And there's no guarantees in life. At the end of the day, you realized the dream that many people have wanted. All of us wanted to be footballers, I assume. He's done that. He's played for the country as well. He played in the champs. He's done well. But also, I can't say you haven't fulfilled your potential from that sort of sense. But then, obviously, like, to talk about retirement, and like, I wouldn't say it's last chance saloon, but it felt like the Como thing was the last chance saloon. You're rooting for the guys, like you don't want to see anyone down on the luck. You're here, you got another chance. To hear potential retirement or what's going on over there, it's not really nice, man. And I also feel sometimes it's somebody's fault, or in this case in football, it's a player's fault. But I also feel one of the saddest things in life is seeing someone not hit their full potential, you know? Like, it's sad. It is what it is, man. But Jose did tell him. Jose hasn't been wrong. And he probably knew it. Do you think Liverpool are looking a little short at the back? One injury could derail their season. It could, but they always find ways of plugging it, though, my boy. Like, they find ways of plugging the gaps. One thing I think was very smart with Slot, on occasion, he did rest players, or he did make unpopular decisions and drop one or two of at various points throughout the season. He did drop one or so players and maybe indirectly kept people fresh. We ain't really seen Arteta do that. Like, even a thing where maybe Odegaard's fit and firing and he's doing well, and we're having complete opposite conversations and he's essential, but he might be thinking, you know what, I've learned from last season. He's played a lot of football. We played the last 2 weeks in the Champions League or something. Let me make an unpopular decision, like make Ranieri play at this moment in time. We ain't really seen that kind of thing. It's always on brand, really. Especially when the rare times players get opportunities, they take them and they're in a bit of a good like a purple patch or good form. That's where Arteta needs to start being a bit cute and clever, in my opinion. But you're right, everyone's got that. But then you could argue one injury at the back for us in real time, it could mess us up. Gabriel Magalhaes immediately makes me nervous because this is the worst time to get injured as well, or have any sort of shenanigans around your fitness because you're playing catch up. It's a bit different, but Declan Rice spoke about I needed a rest or whatever. If you're not ready to go when the first game starts, regardless of you in preseason, you're playing catch up. And based on what Declan Rice said, there's no coincidence that, let's be honest, first half of the season, he was probably like a 6 out of 10. He weren't terrible, but you weren't really doing much. And he said it himself. Second half of the season, he literally won us a couple of games. We all remember the 2 free kicks, etc. That's what makes me nervous. And then you throw in Timber. I wanted Balotelli to hit his peak. I wanted to ball in 2014. He went to Liverpool. Balotelli, another sad one, man. I think he could have been one of the best strikers in the world. But again, it's one thing having the ability. So next, doing something else. Boston makes a point. I'm still not sure. Martinelli doesn't get an overlap like Saka gets. He's still a one-trick pony. It's true. But then, and it is true, and these are fair things to say about Martinelli, and you never know. My thing is, whether these things are right or wrong, we're talking about the same thing in 2025. And you don't know, I'm probably Martinelli's biggest fan. It's still the same conversation. Whether that would make him better or he needs to fix up, that is still the conversation. And being devil's advocate, Arteta, obviously, on one hand, he needs to do a bit better on that left-hand side. But maybe if Martinelli continued that form when he was scoring goals, maybe he would have clocked to himself, I need to get this guy scoring goals. If we had the Mane and Salah thing with both of them on that side. And then also, rightly or wrongly, do we just have to admit that I'm not agreeing with it, but Arteta is going to do the inverted left-back thing. So you're not going to see the overlaps and the runs and all of these things, and Martinelli's still going to play. A part of me does feel if he was at like a Liverpool and Newcastle, teams that are more killer on the transition, he'd be good because that's Martinelli's bread and butter. But if Trossard leaves, I need Martinelli to stay for at least a year. Ballo, a legend, highlight reel up there with the best. What Euros was it? Was it 2012? They lost the final, but he like put Italy on his shoulders. He's always had quality, but he's a loose cannon. Come on, you're throwing darts and fireworks at youth players. You know, Jose always gives the hilarious story. It probably weren't hilarious at the time that Inter Milan were playing in the Champions League. Balotelli got a yellow card or something, and for some reason or not, he didn't want to make subs. He was telling Balotelli, don't tackle. First 5 minutes, he gets sent off. These things catch up with you. Pardon me, Nelly is dead food, bro. He's not done well for a long time now. You need to let this attachment to the player go. We can't keep lame ducks because you like them. They have to bring something. I agree with you. Martinelli's meaty. But you have to stay for the squad. I wouldn't feel confident. Trossard and Martinelli. Go ahead. Trust Martinelli for a year. You could be a squad man. You could come off the bench and help us. There might be games where winning. Cool. What do people say? And I always say this is dangerous to this is a dangerous scenario to be in. The first thing people say about Martinelli, tracks back. Okay, you want to track back. If we're 2-0 up at Anfield and they made it 2-1 and it's nervy and we're trying to time waste and the sick left winger we've got on the left-hand side, you're not really tracking back, you go do that, Martinelli. You go do that. But you're right. A lot of players, and maybe even the manager in some people's thoughts, are either on borrowed time or past their sell-by date, or where I'm at, I'm just tired now, man. Like, if Martinelli leaves, he leaves, innit? Our left winger has to be elite at 1v1s because they're isolated all games. Once teams clocked Martinelli's tendencies after 2022-23, he was finished. Do you know one game I always watch back? You remember that season, Brighton away? Go watch the highlights, man. It's crazy. It's horrible, Balotelli, what happened to him. The way to get the best out of Martinelli is to have either a left-back, Tierney, or a centre mid Xhaka overlap. It's true, but 2025, man. 2025, man. It's 2025. These are not wrong comments, but it's 2025. And blink, and I don't know about anyone else. Am I wrong? This year is zooming, you know. It's been a good year for me. It's not finished. Like last year was tough, man. Like God's real, man. Big up you lot, because this applies to you lot. You lot been getting engagement and whatnot. Appreciate you lot, man. But anyways, away from the sub story, bro, it's the 8th. We're in the 8th month. It's August. I can remember Carnival last year like this, and I was licked. And it's coming up very soon. It's going to be 2026 soon. Is my point. I can't keep talking about this with a number of players. I did that. I'm not negative at these guys. I'm not harsh. It's just it's now about competency at this point. Like it's now about competency. Are you a left winger? Like one of the comments said, that can take people on, do madness. I haven't given up on Martinelli, but you're not showing me that you should be a starter. Because right now you're only probably a starter because Arteta's got confidence that one, collectively, all right, he's rightly or wrongly, left hand side, you're doing whatever. My bread and butter's on the right. You're gonna do what you're gonna do defensively. Is what it is. All this, especially the striker shouts with Martinelli. I'm not saying they're wrong, but it probably has to happen somewhere else. Because let's be real, God forbid anything happens to Gyökeres, but Gyökeres is the first option, anyways. Well, I hope so. I hope there's no foolishness. I can't lie for obvious reasons, but I hope Gyökeres is the first choice. For me, I'll go with Marino, but it's probably going to be Havertz. Then you've got Marino. Trossard's probably going, so that probably boosts Martinelli up the pecking order. But Martinelli. And we've seen Kai Havertz and Marino go up front. I am being a bit silly, but you don't know with Zubimendi and Norgard. You don't know what the manager's got on his bingo card. And so Martinelli's not going up there. Think about it. When it's all said and done last season, yeah, when did Martinelli rumble through the middle? And it weren't really a false nine. You're starting in a false nine against Liverpool away. We threw you up there and we got a bit of change. You got to remember, people got injured. Marino went up there. Things were happening, and then he got his chance. And that was when it was all said and done by then, no? It was all said and done, though. Madrid juiced, PSG, this happened in the league. Dark January. Oh, my God. That's been the worst thing, actually. Thank the Lord. It's been the worst thing about 2025 for me, actually. In the Arsenal January period, that was... I don't think I'll shake. I don't think last season, away from like the football, I don't think I'll shake how I felt on deadline day when we got Raheem Sterling. I don't feel I'll shake how I felt on deadline day on January, because there was we knew nothing was happening, but there was still that come on, and then nothing happened. And then probably anything, truthfully, I can't really remember, but anything from the first to the third game that we played beyond the point of deadline day in January, yeah, we're just surviving. Like it was just lackluster. I prefer Marino up front than Kai. I'm not really a fan of Marino in midfield at this moment in time. I feel your 2-1 pace. Certain games it can run. Madueke is 2-footed. We should start accepting that he'll be on the left. He needs to show me he's 2-footed, but I do agree with that part of the sentence. I think that is your left winger. Walcott better than Martinelli. That's not a diss though. Theo weren't dead. He used to pee me off as well. I mean, I want to be a striker and a right winger, but boy, last season we sabotaged our chances by going a man down. How long until Kai leaves? Damn. At this point, I can't wait to see what Dookie is going to bring and what wing he's going to play. But if it came to it, to be brutally honest, big up Madueke, but if it came to it and we only got Eze, I don't care if Eze can play on the left-hand side. I'm starting Eze. I'll be so real with you, look. Nelly would cook at Paul with Kirkes overlapping and Verts playing in behind would actually be scary. Hi, DG. Big up yourself, man. Everyone says sell Martinelli, but the white elephant needs to be addressed. That is when opponents double mark our wingers. It's true. And also with Martinelli, cool. If we accept that, disingenuous, but you might be a bit brainless. You might look better on the transition when games are crazy. Surely, as a manager, to a degree, you've got to set up that player. And as I said, I'm clearly more critical of Martinelli than Arteta and the tactics in Martinelli's isolated case, not necessarily the left. But surely, as a manager, you got to put him in situations where you do that. Now, if I've got a 5'8" striker, I'm going to put the ball, and he's quick, I'm going to put the ball in behind. If he's more of the slower sort, I'm not going to put the ball in behind. I'm being a bit basic with the example, but the complicated football requires Martinelli to, in essence, not be what he is. Martinez look rough, Kai too. My fear is Teta doesn't use wacky tactics on Gyökeres anymore. I rage. Boy. Where's does all our money go? Apparently, first and second in the Prem prize money ain't a big difference. We got a bigger stadium plus London price fees at games, yet we shop at Poundland compared to Liverpool. See, be ours, we spent the bag. I think it's more of how we like to move, man. It's over for Martinelli, bro. Like, it's not over, but it's the image I had of Martinelli. It's over, man. That thought it was gonna be an Alexis Sanchez and Luis Suarez, little pinch salts of Aguero all in one player. Not to their level, but there was something. He's winning the World Cup next year, anyways. Do you think Liverpool are weak or losing Diaz, Jota, Trent? Obviously, RIP Jota. No, it'd be a bit jarring if I was a Liverpool fan though, because Trent, like, if you got Verts, Trent, well, if you got Trent assisting Verts, potentially Isak, Salah's there, and he's breaking on his record. We're online, man. We're online. I think Madueke might shock, but I want Eze and Liao. You've got to shock me. You've got to shock me. It's got to work. It has to. Especially with the backdrop. But again, I think David Ornstein reiterated what he said a few months ago. When it's all said and done, I'm not trying to peel it off, but he said there's external pressure, obviously, on Arsenal to get over the line. That is not shared internally. That doesn't mean Arsenal don't want to win the Prem. It means the kind of venom that we're going after our goals. I don't know if it doesn't happen, what you lot would want, or some of you would want, and the club's kind of thinking, I don't think it's the same. No notification, man. YouTube be snaking, man. Don't worry, we're going to start getting Discords and all those sort of things going, man. This year, we're going to really emphasize, I want to say building our community, but refining our community. Let's face it, they're struggling to build enough Eze, so can't see them bringing in a new left winger. Come on, keep the faith, man. Kiwior or Martinelli when it comes to decision making. Kiwior a mile ago. A mile. You said the new guy was sitting on the bench. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. We need to utilize Martinelli better. Liverpool pulled out the Isak race, bro. I hope you're right. But we can say go for Isak till the cows come home. It's not happening, lad. Man says shout the panel. Well, shout the chat, we'll say. I think Sesko can bang. The conditions don't look ideal at Man United, but they are playing one game a week. My only issue would be if I was a Man United fan is, it's not that I wouldn't want Sesko, but they probably need an Ollie Watkins, an experienced man. On paper, he's still got Højlund, Xerxes. Sesko would be another one of them ilks, them promising kind of strikers. We don't talk about Madueke until the transfers are done. Then you talk about Madueke. Social drains, I need to see that energy if we don't do what needs to be done. We need to stop letting players get married or having babies. Oh, the God did both. Right, come on, man. Watkins isn't for sale. I hear it, but in terms of being an experienced striker. So, yeah, man. With that being said, though, man, I'm not going to lie. It's 3 a.m. I want to watch my TV show, people. I don't get any time to chill, so I'm going to spend 45 minutes watching that. Brush my teeth and go to my bed, man. But appreciate you lot. Nice to see that you lot have been here. Don't know why you lot are not sleeping. Don't know why you lot are not doing better things on this Saturday. Well, we know why. Going back to the Don at the beginning, he's the only one that defo ain't got better things to be doing. But yeah, man. Hope you've been entertained. Hope I provided some value. Smash the like button if you haven't. Be see you when I see you, which is typically every day, man. Big up yourselves, man. God bless you all. Done though.